Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone. The Beth and Rip spinoff's Kevin Costner replacement plan makes John Dutton IE's fate worse. Taylor Sheridan's drama series, Yellowstone, was infamously cut short, forcing an unsatisfying end for Kevin Costner's patriarch, John Dutton IE, which appears poised to be dredged up again with the in-development spinoff following Beth and Rip. The massively popular neo-western was reportedly planned to run for 7 seasons, meaning that Kevin Costner's unceremonious exit at the midpoint of season 5 forced an abrupt end to virtually all the show's major and minor narratives. Perhaps most importantly, it led to an unsatisfying off-screen death for his iconic character, leaving a bad taste in the mouths of most of the franchise's fans. The popularity of the original Yellowstone show spawned several spin-offs, with 2 already released and at least 4 more in development. 1883 and 1923 focused on past generations of the Dutton family, while the upcoming 1944 will do the same. The Future Focus series includes 6666, The Madison, and an untitled Beth and Rip-centric spin-off. All 3 shows will likely have characters or plot lines from the flagship show tied in, but the Beth and Rip spin-off figures to be the closest to a sequel series, especially given their reported plans to replace Kevin Costner's John Dutton II. A mailbag article in Puck from Hollywood insider Matthew Belloni indicates that the Beth and Rip spinoff will begin shooting in summer 2025. As part of the production process, Sheridan and his crew are searching for a Kevin Costner type that is definitely not Costner to join them. While it's obviously far too early for any major plot details to be revealed, it seems fair to think that the show might be borrowing some of the elements from the planned 6 and 7 seasons of Yellowstone for the Beth and Rip spinoff. The plot lines that would have involved John Dutton II in the planned last 2 seasons of Yellowstone will no doubt need to be adjusted significantly for the new circumstances. However, there are likely a collection of moments, scenes, or John Dutton-esque quotes and one-liners that Sheridan can recycle from those unfinished seasons of Yellowstone in the spinoff. By using a Kevin Costner-type actor, it would be far easier to use already fleshed-out elements as opposed to completely scrapping them and coming up with a brand new direction for the Beth and Rip show. Unfortunately, while that plan may be in the best interest of the Beth and Rip spinoff show, it highlights how catastrophic Costner's exit from Yellowstone truly was. Costner and Sheridan originally planned Yellowstone for 7 seasons, and Sheridan has proven that he's a talented enough writer to build plots and characters over that long a time frame. That likely means that elements from the final 2 seasons were set up years in advance, and fans probably missed out on some truly excellent payoffs for their favorite stories and characters. The fact that Sheridan may be looking to reuse some of that material only speaks to how strong it was. While it's merely speculative at this point, with no casting sheet confirmed, it would make sense that Sheridan would look to continue with some of the elements that made Costner's John Dutton II such a memorable character. There is definitely a path to getting the essence of John Dutton II into a new character for a new show, but trying to replace Costner really just makes his character's forced death feel like an even bigger waste. The Beth and Rip spinoff will obviously drop much of the original cast of Yellowstone, most of whom were scattered to the winds at the end of season 5. However, Beth and Rip are likely the 2 most important characters when it comes to carrying on John Dutton IE's legacy. Beth loved him unconditionally, even if she hated the ranch itself, while Rip was unflinchingly loyal to both John Dutton IE and the Yellowstone Ranch. They avenged his death by the end of Yellowstone, but there are plenty of skeletons in the collective Dutton closet that they could contend with. Of all the upcoming spin-offs, Beth and Rip feels the most likely to act as a de facto 6th season of Yellowstone, in spirit if not directly in script. It seems like a safe bet that there will also be elements used in the Madison, the Michelle Pfeiffer-led spinoff that follows a new family as they move to Montana following the tragic death of their own patriarch. Between those two shows and 6666, it feels likely that fans will ultimately still get the best of seasons 6 and 7 of Yellowstone, even if they're served on a slightly different plate. The Yellowstone universe is expanding, and the long-anticipated Beth and Rip spinoff is taking shape. However, with Kevin Costner officially out of Yellowstone's flagship series, the show's handling of John Dutton IE's absence becomes an increasingly complex challenge. While Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan has built a legacy of intense drama, sweeping landscapes, and high-stakes family feuds, the transition away from Costner's iconic patriarch poses a significant narrative hurdle. The latest report suggests that rather than recasting Costner's role, the show will either kill off John Dutton IE or find a way to explain his disappearance. This choice not only changes the emotional weight of the story, but also intensifies the turmoil faced by Beth Dutton, Kelly Riley, and her husband, Rip Wheeler, Kohlhauser. As the torchbearers of the Dutton family legacy, their spinoff will have to navigate the power vacuum left in the wake of John's departure, and the consequences might be devastating. John Dutton IE's absence will shake Beth and Rip's spinoff to its core. From the beginning of Yellowstone, John Dutton IE has been the unyielding force keeping his family's empire intact. His deep-rooted connection to the land, combined with his ruthless decision-making, ensured that the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch remained in his family's hands. However, the moment Costner's departure was confirmed, speculation ran wild about how Sheridan would handle John's fate. Reports hint that John's death will be off-screen, a decision that could either be a strategic narrative tool or a disservice to such a monumental character. If John dies before the spinoff begins, Beth and Rip will inherit more than just the Yellowstone Ranch. They'll inherit the war that comes with it. Enemies of the Duttons, including land developers, political rivals, and vengeful foes, will undoubtedly see John's passing as an opportunity to strike. This situation creates a perilous starting point for the new series, as Beth and Rip will be forced to fight harder than ever to protect what remains. Beth without John, a character on the brink. Beth Dutton has always been a complex character, fiercely loyal to her father, yet emotionally volatile and ruthless in her dealings. Without John, Beth will likely experience a profound transformation. Her love for her father was one of the few stabilizing forces in her life, and his absence could push her to even greater extremes. If Yellowstone spinoff explores the psychological impact of losing John, Beth's decisions could become even more reckless. Her unfiltered rage, once tempered by her father's presence, may become uncontrollable. While Rip is a grounding force in her life, it remains to be seen whether his influence is enough to keep her from spiraling into outright self-destruction. Rip Wheeler, the reluctant leader. Rip Wheeler is the backbone of the Yellowstone Ranch, and while he's always been John's most trusted enforcer, stepping into a more prominent leadership role will be an entirely new challenge. Unlike John, Rip lacks the same political and strategic experience to navigate the threats coming for the ranch. He's a fighter, not a strategist, and that difference may cost him dearly. Beth and Rip have spent years solidifying their love in the chaotic world of the Duttons, but John's absence places their relationship under a different kind of strain. If Beth takes on her father's aggressive tactics and Rip struggles with the burden of running the ranch, their partnership could be pushed to its breaking point. Who will fill the void? With Costner gone, Yellowstone needs a commanding presence to fill the void. The spinoff may introduce a new antagonist or ally who serves as a contrast to John Dutton IE. Some theories suggest that Case Dutton, Luke Grimes, could return as an integral figure. But given his previous struggles with his family's legacy, his involvement remains uncertain. Alternatively, a new character, perhaps a long-lost Dutton relative or a cunning political figure, could emerge as a key player. There's also the looming presence of Jamie Dutton, Whiz Bentley, whose animosity towards Beth and his father reached deadly levels in the original series. If Jamie remains alive by the time the spinoff begins, he could be one of the greatest threats to Beth and Rip's future. His legal acumen and vendetta against his sister could make him an even more dangerous opponent than outside forces.